All right, we're going to take a few minutes and look at the Google Classroom from the teacher's perspective. Some of you may have already started assigning classwork, and I want to make sure that we're doing this in a way that is not going to create confusion for your students or for their parents as we start utilizing some of the new technology. Because some of the worst ways or some of the best ways that we can create turmoil and create rejection from new methods is by doing it poorly from the onset. So what we're going to do first is we're going to know that we're logging into our Google Classroom. In order to do that, you need to make sure that you are logged in as with your teacher email address, and you can either open your apps launcher if you're using a Chromebook, or if you're using a Windows-based PC, then what you can do is go to your apps launcher, open your Chrome browser, and open your Classroom as an app. Or the other way that you can go into creating that is to actually go into your web browser and just navigate into classroom.google.com. When you navigate to classroom.google.com, you're going to notice that it should pull up into your teacher account if you've logged into it before. If you haven't, then it will not have anything there, or it'll ask you to put in your credentials in order to prove that you're a teacher. From there, once you're in, you're going to, if you have not done so already, you will create a class. You can click here, create class. That's on the plus sign at the top. You're going to give it a class name, a section name, and then click create. We've already got 3 classes here: personal finance from last year, personal finance from this year, and an example class that we're going to be working in. And you'll notice that my personal finance last year had 23 students. This year there's 13 students. There's actually 14 in the class, and I've got to find out why one of them has not joined. But in our example class, we are going to look here, and our one student is Chromebook Training, which is the one that's being used to teach the kids how to use this stuff. So in here, once you've created your class, you're going to see that there is a class code that you're going to give to your class so they can join your class in the Google Classroom. Once they join the class, you're going to notice their names will pop up in students, and you can individually send them information via the classroom. But where you're going to spend most of your time is going to be on the stream. Now in the stream, it's going to run in chronological order, and you have 2 options: announcements or assignments. Announcements are pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to create an announcement. The test has been moved to Wednesday. And then I'm going to post it. Now you're going to notice here there are also some older assignments that are created. You notice things that are in red are the things that are past due. And from there, you're going to be able to see that your student on their side of things is going to see that here's a sample assignments. When they log in the next time or they refresh it, they're going to see the new announcements that came up, and that I posted the announcement at 1:04 p.m. And if it's on a different day, then it'll actually show the date rather than a time. So they're going to be able to see those live, and they will be in chronological order. From there, notice these are 2, and I don't want you to create any confusion. This is example class here with my name on it, and then this one is the example class. This is still my name, but it's because I'm the teacher of the class. You'll notice here in the top corner that we're dealing in the student. And I'll try to make sure that I show you that we're dealing in the student and dealing in the teacher side of things. You're going to notice that in the student, you don't have all of the information on the left side. You also don't have the ability to create any announcements or assignments as a student. So from there, the other thing that you're going to utilize this mostly for is going to be the assignments. There is a good way to make assignments and a bad way to make assignments. And we're going to address the bad way first, the way that's going to cause the most confusion, the most frustration for the students. So the bad way that you could do it, and that you will not do, is that when you create an assignment, we're going to say that we're going to write an essay on Moses. So I'm going to write an essay on Moses. Make sure that you give it a due date. When you create the due date, I'm going to make it for next Friday, and that it's going to be assigned to the example class, since that's the one I'm working in. And then I'm going to click assign. Now I've created the assignment. It shows that it's been assigned by one person. I've got a due date of August 21st. Therefore, I'm done. I've written my assignments. This is the bad way to create an assignment. This is where it's going to cause confusion, because you told the kid to write the essay, and yes, they could figure it out from there, but this is what they're going to see. Notice here it says show. The stream has been updated, so I'm going to tell it to show as a student. I'm in the student account now. So here it is. Here's my assignment. Write an essay on Moses. So I'm going to look at it, and it says that, what do I do? Where do I go? It's going to usually bring me here. Write an essay on Moses. And then the students are going to go, they can go into your work, and they go, well, what do? I don't know where to write anything. I'm trying to type. I can't see anything. And they get frustrated. They tell their parents. Their parents get frustrated because they don't look up here. If you create it this way, then the student has to know that they have to click create. They have to create the document. It's going to create the document. And now they're going to have to click here. And now they're going to have to start their document and write their essay. And then they get done and their essay's done. They've written it. They close it out. It saves everything. Now they're going to turn it in. Yes, they can do that, but yes, this is going to create the most confusion because they're not going to know click create. They're going to come in here and look for what they're supposed to edit. So what we're going to do is we're now going to create the assignment in the proper way. So we're going to go back to our student account, or our teacher account. We're in our teacher. I know I'm in my teacher because there's my name, and I have all the class codes and things across the side. The first thing I'm going to do before I create the assignment is I'm going to create a document that I want the kids to work on. So I'm going to create my document by going to my Google Drive, and I'm going to create a document, whether it's an Excel document or a word processing document, and I'm going to put the instructions right on the top of that document. Write an essay on I don't know, Paul. I'm going to write an essay on Paul. It needs to be 3 paragraphs. Done. I'm going to give this an assignment name, essay on Paul. I'm going to give it an assignment name, tell it OK. Now what I've done is I've created a document now in my Google Drive, and if you want to go through and create a folder, and I'll show you how that's done. Now I'm going to create my new assignment. I'm going to create an assignment, write an essay on Paul. Write an essay on Paul, period. I'm going to give it my due date. My due date is still going to be the 21st. Now, here's where I need to take the next step. I'm going to click on Attach a Google Drive item. Attach a Google Drive item because you have created a document you want those kids to edit. I'm going to sort it by name. Makes it easier for me to be able to see things. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to find, there is my essay on Paul. That's the document that I wrote. Now, if you want to spend some time to put things in folders, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But I've got an essay on Paul. I've got a document. And here is where you make the change that is going to create so much clarity in what you want done. It's going to eliminate a lot of the frustration that the students are going to have. I'm going to change this to make a copy for each student. And now I will assign that essay. So what the student sees now is when they go into their stream, they're going to see it says show that's been updated. I'm in the student account. Write an essay on Paul. I'm going to click on this. It's going to go to my work. And whenever I get in here as a student, there is what I'm supposed to do. I click on the assignment. I write the essay on Paul. I see write an essay on Paul. It's the instructions are right there in the assignment. I write. Paragraph 2, paragraph 3. I write. And I turn it in. I'm done. I can close it out. And now that I'm done, I'm going to click Turn In. It says, are you sure you want to turn in? Yes, as a student, I am ready to turn that document in. Now, as a teacher, now I get to see over here that when my stream updates, I think it updated right before I clicked to refresh. Now I can see here, hey, my essay on Paul, 1 student has it done. I can actually click on here and see which students have done that assignment. Whenever I see that they've done it, I can click on it, click on them as a student, see the document that they have created. I see the document. I can make whatever comments. Let's say that the spelling is atrocious. So I could highlight this if I wanted to. Click on comment as a teacher. Add a comment. Your spelling is horrible. Comment. Or you could comment here, comment, this is great information. Comment. Now you don't have to put all the comments in, but this is you can highlight what you want to comment on and write a comment in here so that the student can see it. Close it out. The student will now be able to see that on their end of things. So if I go back here into writing an essay, this is my work. I can actually go in here and I can look at this as a student. I'm in view only because I've turned it in, and I'll be able to, once you send it back to me as a teacher, I'd be able to see all those comments. So this is the best way to create those assignments where you are creating the document, you are uploading the document to the classroom and telling it to create a copy for each student. You'll also notice that it does give that document the student's name, so you'll be able to see exactly who it came from. If you want to create confusion in your class, do it the way that we created the Moses essay, where the kid's going to have to go in and create the document, edit the document, upload the document, and then submit the document. If you want to create it in a way that's going to create the least amount of confusion, create the document you want them to do, even if it's just a blank document that they're supposed to write an essay on. Create it, add it to your assignment, and make a copy for each student so that each student can edit their own copy, and then they'll know to turn it in. If you are creating folders, folders are super easy to create. So if I'm in my drive, I have a folder in here for my personal finance class. So I created a folder called personal finance. I can open up, and inside my personal finance folder, I've got subfolders for each one of the chapters that have workbooks, so chapter 1 workbook, and here are all the documents that I had for my chapter 1 workbook. I had chapter 2 workbook, chapter 3, and a book review. The book reviews there are 2 book reviews that have to be done. Both of them are there, and they are going to stay blank because all of my students' work goes into my drive into a document called Classroom. In the document called Classroom, there's the example class, and it's going to create a folder for each one of the assignments. There's my write an essay on Paul, and there's the document that was submitted. So inside your Google Drive, there's a folder called Classroom. Inside that Classroom folder is a folder for each one of the classes that you have created, and inside those are folders for each of the assignments that you have created. So that way it keeps everything in one place. It keeps it easy to see. And that's how you would create those assignments.